I'm live. Awesome. Now, where is my link data? I guess I can do it from here, can't I? Alright. YouTubes. Awesome. Copy link location. Perfect. Go make a tweet. Tweet that. And now I need to go over to all of my Discord servers. Alright, they're in the other window. Don't need them over there. I need to go over to self-promo. Alright. That should be the links up to everybody. Oh, computer. Will you actually let me close Discord, please? Yes, close Discord. All apparently 4 instances of it. Thank you. There we go. Alright. So, we're live. Awesome. Do a quick check to make sure my various windows can swap properly. Yep. Alright. So, let us get started, shall we? Welcome everybody to an impromptu stream from your favorite programmer slash let's players slash dear God, how many other things do I do? Anyway, I have been seeing, especially this morning, a lot of people getting all tits up about they remade the models for Pokemon Sword and Shield. No, they didn't. Yes, they did. No, they didn't. Oh my God, they don't have a National Dex. Yes, they do. Maybe they will. I don't know. So, I am going to break it all down for you people on why the National Dex is not that big a deal. Because here's some information that we do know. If you actually look past the actual, miscommunication, what was actually said by Masuda is that the changeover to Switch meant that the animations were broken. So while they may have all 800, well, I'll literally show it to you. While all of their future-proof models, look at that, we have 809 Pokemon as of the previous generation. If trends continue, there's going to be another 100 in Generation 8, or whatever it's called. I don't know. Hard to keep track of all the friggin' generations. So you're looking at over 900 Pokemon. 800 of which were imported, but have no animations whatsoever, because the animations broke when switching over to, well, the Switch. That means you have 900 Pokemon that need to be animated from scratch. So yes, they could import the models, and you could have your beloved National Dex. But you know what you would get if you imported all 800 models? Statues. Just straight up statues. Because a model without animation is completely static. It can do nothing. That's why when it comes to 3D modeling, the default pose is often called a T-pose, because the T-pose is, well, arms out to either side, forming a T. Because before you add any animations, before you add any IK kinematics, it's a T-pose. Yes, that's exactly what I'm getting at, Super Paper. It was a mistranslation. But what the actual article says is while the models were not broken, the animations were. That's what they were getting at, is that when they imported the models, the animations did not import. They had to remake the animations. Now, maybe they didn't need to remake all the animations. Maybe some of them came through. It has nothing to do with lag. It has to do with time investment. Because, let me break it down to you. So I did this as a comment on another video. But let me explain to you what one single Pokemon, on average, has to deal with. One Pokemon in terms of animations. You're going to need, on average, 3 moves, the actual attack moves, per Pokemon. Now, some Pokemon are going to need more moves, some will need less, some can be recycled from other Pokemon, but on average, let's say for every single Pokemon, there's 3 unique animation moves, on average. Now, you know what you also need? A walk cycle. That's the 4th move. Now you know what else you need? An idle cycle. That's the 5th animation. You know what you also need? A jump. That's 6. And then you need to account for any other miscellaneous ones. That's 2 more. So let's do the math. 900 Pokemon times 3 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2. Or if you want to get simpler, 900 Pokemon times 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 900 times 8. Do you know what 900 times 8 is equal to? 7,200 animations. I will repeat that. 7,200 animations. That is the work that Game Freak would have to put in on the animation side, on average, for your full National Dex. 7,200 new animations. Now, let me ask you this. How long do you think creating 7,000 animations would take? I'm literally going to wait for a response from my viewing audience. How long do you think it takes to create 7,000 animations? I'm going to go by the silence that you kind of get it. Now, let's remove the National Dex and just have the local Pokemon, which, again, going by Pokemon trends, will be about 150. Let's do those same numbers. 150. I'll even do it on screen for you. 150 times 8. 1,200 animations. That's still a lot of animations. So that means, just for the normal local decks, they have to make 1,200 animations. That is the work that Game Freak is putting in for Pokemon Sword and Shield. 12,000 animations. On average. It's probably actually higher. So, for all the people complaining about no National Dex, you want them to create literally 7 times that many animations? Because that's what they'd have to do. With 809 previous Pokemon, plus the, I'm going to assume 100 Pokemon that are going to be in Generation 8, you're looking at over 7,000 animations that have to be created. I assume you want to play Pokemon Sword and Shield within your lifetime, right? I mean, I would assume the Pokemon fans want to play it within the span of their lifetime. Because 7,000 animations is a lot. In fact, let's do a quick little Google search here. How long does it take to create a 3D animation? Let's see if Google can actually give us anything. Ah, look at that. So this is talking about like a 3D like animated movie. But it should give you a point of scope. A 2 to 3 minute long video takes an average of 4 weeks to produce. If it's simple motion graphics, it can take 3 weeks. So, how long is an animation? Maybe what? 30 seconds on the outside? Let's use 30 seconds. So, let's look at a scale of 2 minutes equals 3 weeks. So, 30 seconds would be equivalent to what? 4 days for one animation. So, let's take those same numbers. We're going to say it's going to take 4 days, and we're going to multiply that times our 12,000 number. And then let's make it a little bit more readable by dividing that by 30. Actually, no, it's not going to be 30 because we have to do it by business days. So, in a business month, it's going to be more like 26. So that means it would take 184 months just on the animations alone for one person, naturally. So let's go further, shall we? We're going to take these numbers, further break them down. We're going to go and say, divide that by 12. How many months are in a year? That's 15 years. Now, let's further break it down. Let's take that number given to us by Ren of 143 employees. Alrighty then. So we're looking at, probably remove the 12 here just to make things a little bit easier. So we're looking at, on average, what? About, I'm going to clean these numbers up a bit, give me a second. It takes about 1 month, 1.5 months, for if every single employee of Game Freak, all 143 employees, are working on animations, takes them 1.5 months to complete the animations for just the local Dex. Now let's scale things up to the National Dex. It takes them 7 months with every single employee, every single one, and we know that all of them are not animators. In fact, let's see if we can find numbers on those so we can actually further break things down. Game Freak. How many animators do they have? Game Freak. Let's try Game Freak's website. Let's see if we can get any numbers on Game Freak's staff numbers Game Freak. Yeah, Wikipedia might be helpful. Do they give us any information here? Number of employees, 143 as of 2018. All right. Let's try something else to try and give you guys an idea of scope here. How much of a game developer are animators? See, that's the thing, Surgo. The entire point that was made in the article that caused all this kerfuffle is that when importing the models from Sun and Moon to the Switch, it broke the animations. So they have to remake all the animations. Now, they might be able to recover some of them, but for the most part, we have to assume that all of the animations are broken and they had to be remade from scratch. Let's go with a 25%. Let's say 25% of their staff are animators. We can easily do those numbers. We'll multiply that by 25%. We'll go back to our original 1,200 number. All right. So we're looking at 5 months for their 25%. Oh, sure. Let's pull up the article. 1 second. Come on, computer. Yes, I want to discard my tweet. Let's see. What was it? Pokemon. Where are you? Model. Pokemon Sword and Shield. There we go. Let's go to the article and follow it. Here we go. Go to the YouTube videos. Actually, no. Not the YouTube videos. The Reddit article. The source where this comes in from. And this is not providing what I wanted. Annoying. Try and pre-plan everything, and I still manage to miss important aspects. Live broadcasting, everybody! Alright. Translator link. Fumetsu article. Let's pull those up. This is the article they're talking about. And let's see if I can find where he actually shows a translation on camera. There it is. Where was it? I saw it a second ago. Yes, the article is Fumetsu here. Actually, I do have a built-in translator. Now, my translator is probably going to be just as shitty as the one that caused this thing. Pokemon Sword Shield. And Let us see if we can find the word model. Shubada, 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 shubada. Oh, right there, they've even saying now time consuming in comparison with the past. Total number of Pokemon as well. Looks to include. So, right there, they're giving us numbers larger than what I gave you with my estimate of 900. They're saying here that there's 1,000 Pokemon. So that means that Pokemon Sword and Shield, again, you have to take everything with a grain of salt because it's translation and whatnot, is going to add 200 Pokemon. Because if we had 809 before, and he's saying that there's 1,000 Pokemon they had to deal with, that means that they're adding, 193 Pokemon? Yes, but if you also... The thing is, model and models weren't actually... It's translation convention things. Model is... Here, even mine is giving us model. But the thing is, the original also can be used as choice. There is actually... Where is it? One run through a different translator. In fact, the one that's using here. So let's go here. Let's take the line model. Let's take the original text. This is the line that has gotten everyone up in a tizzy. We'll throw it through a different translator. Notice the word model isn't even in here. We had to make some choices from scratch. So you'll notice that while my built-in translator from Google Translate says that it will recreate the model from scratch, the exact same Japanese text thrown through Yandex Translate, even the time Pokemon Sun Moon, it was quite a tough situation to be able to bring all the Pokemon together. But the hard turns into a Nintendo Switch, and we had to make some choices from scratch. Completely different context. Alright. 1,000. I'm looking here at the National Dex here from Bulbapedia, which lists every Pokemon, and I think it also includes the Megas in here. I could be wrong. Yeah, so it looks like they're not listed in this. Yeah. Do we not have the Megas in here? Yeah, we don't have the Megas in here. We have the regulars in here. Fine enough. So, the base is 1,000. That's discounting Mega Evolutions. That's discounting the Beast Pokemon. Beast Ball ones. Gender differences are probably accounted for in here. But, because gender differences are really minor. Like what? Pikachu has a heart-shaped tail when it's female, and then there's Nidoran. Well, that's the thing with modeling, is that male Pikachu and female Pikachu, you can actually get away with that because you can cut off the tail of the model and put on a different tail. So it's more like 1.1 when it comes to the Pikachu. Since the only difference is the tail, all you really have to do is do a minor alteration to the actual model. So that's not really a big one, but yeah, this list here of 809 Pokemon doesn't account for the Mega Beasts. It doesn't account for the X evolutions or the Mega evolutions. So yeah, we're looking at 1,000 Pokemon before they even get into the Pokemon they have to deal with for the current generation. And again, we'll go back to our numbers here. If we take, let's see, we can actually make this math really easy with just more and more parentheses. Math people love their parentheses. Alright, so we know that there's going to be 8 animations per on average. We're timesing that by our Pokemon number. So our original 150 Pokemon that we're going with for the base game. So again, we're looking at about 5 months for just the original base game, just on animations alone. So let's scale that up. Let's go with, we'll go the full thing, the 1,000. Again, these are all rough numbers. And then we'll add the 150. Suddenly, the time to create all those animations jumps from 5 months and some change to 39 months and some change. AKA a year and a half. Just on the animations. And this is kind of the point I'm trying to get to. Is that the National Dex and including all 1,000 Pokemon increases a major hurdle to the production time. It literally sextuples the production time just on the animators. They would literally need 6 times, even more than 6 times, because it's almost 40. 8 times as many months. 8 times as many months to produce Sword and Shield, just on the animation end. That is an insane markup when you look at it. When you're going from 5 months to 40 months, those numbers are kind of mind-blowing. And that's a lot of stress you're putting on the animators. And we already know that the game developer industry has serious issues with crunch. And especially when you're dealing with Japanese developers who have a very company-first philosophy, putting that much stress on them, yes, it's their job. But that also means it takes longer for you to get the game. Because, keep this in mind, that's 40 months for them to produce the animations. Just the animations. Now those animations still have to be internally tested, because you can't really test the game and the battle moves and whatnot until you have animations for those characters. So let's go simple. Let's say that, let's just go with one Pokemon. Let's see how long it is before they have a playable demo that they can start beta testing, bug testing. How long do they have to wait for one Pokemon? Alright, so you're looking at 0.3, so that's about a week. So for every Pokemon, every single Pokemon, there is a week lag, because every time they finish the animation on a single Pokemon, they need a week in order for... Let me start again. So it takes about a third of a month, roughly about a week, for them to finish the animations for one Pokemon. That means that before that Pokemon can actually be tested, by their internal testing department, they have to wait a week. So let's start with, say, Score Bunny. They finish Score Bunny, and the animation team starts working on the next one. They won't actually be able to test bugs, battles, and whatnots for, say, Grookey for a week. Can we? We can Google it. Pokemon's investors. They are listed as a private company, so I don't think we can actually see their investors. Because if they're not a publicly traded company, brand management, joint venture, Pokemon franchise, Pokemon.co. The Pokemon Company, which is done by Game Freak. Yeah. Private company, so they're not publicly traded. So we wouldn't be able to see its investors because they're actually a private company. But let us see if we can't find something on Game Freak. Game Freak Inc. I don't think we're gonna find too much. I could check out their website and go through auto-translate again, see if we can find something on that, get some idea of what the company is, a portfolio and other stuff. All right. Google Translate. Give me a translate. Automatically translate. Portfolio, contact, company information. Now, this should give us some information. Oh, I mean, this is about as much as we can get on a private company. Since they're not publicly traded, we can't really get too much information aside from what they post on their website. Let's see. Access. Where are they located? They're located there. Company profile, maybe. No, I think we're just looking at that. Corporate philosophy, maybe? And that's an image file. So that can't be translated. Because Google may be able to do many things, but they can't translate an image. Just yet. Recruit. See if there's anything useful in recruit. Not seeing anything useful. Alright. Please auto-translate this. Yes, I want to translate it. Please. Human resources, information systems, info management. And before anyone starts saying, "Oh, you're revealing secret information," this is their public website and their public information. All right. What do we got on the programming end? They need a program lead developer. They need 2020 graduates for their programmers, interns, animation, build engineer. This might give us some information. All right, let's look at what they need for anyone who's going to be an animator for them, shall we? Let's give us some idea of just what it takes to be an animator, and that kind of gives you an idea of just the amount of work that's involved in creating those 1,200 Pokemon, those 1,200 Pokemon and their associated animations. So you're going to need someone who knows C++. You're going to need someone who knows how to do IK, inverse kinematics. You need someone who can do motion production flow, basically essentially motion capture, kind of, sort of. Let's see about anything notable in there. Nothing else aside from, telling you the rate. So if you could speak Japanese and you want to become an animator at Game Freak, the basic staff animator makes about 8.5 million yen. Which is a few thousand when you account for the yen to USD conversion. The easiest way I've found in order to convert for people to understand yen conversions is, here, let me give you an example. So we're going to say, actually I can just make it really easy. Let's do, there's a really easy way to kind of short bullet in your head, but I kind of want you guys to just see. So 8 million yen roughly translates to 78,000. So what I usually like to do when people are trying to do the translation, let's put the number straight out. Roughly translates to 78, comma 000. So what I usually like to tell people when it comes to translation convention is that you basically want to take 2 zeros off. Because if we take 2 zeros off on a yen, we end up turning it into that. So I should kind of give you an idea, is that whenever you look at yen, basically divide by 100, and that'll roughly give you what it is in USD. Roughly. That's kind of an odd tangent to show you the rates working as an animator, then show you the conversion of yen to USD. Ah, boy. Alright. Close 2 tabs. Yeah, close the Game Freak. Alright, so yeah, we're saying it's going to take... it takes about a week per Pokemon to be animated, and then it has to actually go through QA. So then, again, let's go back to scaling this back up to 1150. And you can see 40 months. I think I've pretty much covered the long and the short of it when it comes to just why the National Dex is not really that big a priority when you consider just the amount of time investment it is. Because remember, you can't do quality assurance, which means you can't get a playable game until you've got the animation for those Pokemon, which means that every single animation pushes back release. So yes, it is their job, but you have to consider that week of lead time. So by adding literally 35 more weeks, that's going to push back by a year or more the release time, which means that lowballing it, because there's always things you can't account for, lowballing it. If they were to include all 1,200 Pokemon, we wouldn't be seeing Pokemon Sword and Shield until 2021, 2020. And that's lowballing it. Now, another thing people have to consider, especially when you look at actual trends in these things, is look at all the previous Pokemon games. We've had Diamond and Pearl and Platinum. We've had Black and White 2, X and Y. They always end up making, in recent years, a follow-up game, Black and White 2, so on and so forth. So there's more than likely going to be a Sword and Shield 2, or Sword and Shield Ultimate, or something like that. There's also other things you have to consider. All of the previous Pokemons, well, maybe not all the previous Pokemons, but now it's on the Switch, which, like most modern consoles, can have day one patches. It's fully possible that the National Dex could be coming later. Will they do it as a DLC you have to pay for? Will they just do it as a content update? I can't tell you that. But the National Dex can be patched in. So just because it's not there at release doesn't mean it's not going to be in, say, Sword and Shield 2 or in a DLC/content update. These are the things you have to keep in mind. Hell, they could just do a sort of Pokemon Bank. That's a thing. If they just update Pokemon Bank, because Pokemon Bank lets you to transfer Pokemon from older generations into, well, a bank, and then transfer those into later generations. What they could do is just update Pokemon Bank, allowing you to take your Pokemon from Sun and Moon, put them in the bank, and then create a patch, a DLC, something like that, that allows the latest version of Pokemon Bank to connect into Sword and Shield. You don't see, that's the thing, is we don't really need the National Dex anymore, especially with the Pokemon Bank, because the National Dex was a way for people in later generations to get older Pokemon. Well, with the Pokemon Bank, we don't really need the National Dex, because we can just take the older Pokemon, transfer them into the bank, and then take them from the bank and transfer them into the newest generation. We don't really need the National Dex. See what I'm saying? Give a little bit of time for people to get caught up. Anyway, I think I've made my point clear, looking at things from the actual programming side of things. So, unless anyone else has any additional thoughts, I'm just going to let it play through the trailer one last time to let people have a chance to give any additional thoughts, and then I'm going to end the stream. So, I do hope that you guys have learned something interesting about game development, about the nuances, the tricks, the complications, and about moving forward. That name, Yamper. It's just so weird to me. Like, it's clearly based on a corgi, but the name makes me think vampire. It's a vampire corgi. Let that sink into your mind, folks. The vampire corgi. My pleasure, Joshua. I like to try and be informative. Kind of one of the things I do when there's a big outrage about something. That's why I make my various, you know, out of nowhere vlogs. Because I want people to understand things from a perspective that they may not may not see. By just providing facts and background. Alrighty. Time to end things. So, with that said, and with all that lovely talk out of the way, I hope you guys had fun, and I'll see you all in the future. Ending stream in 3, 2, 1.